Did y'all miss me? What's up, guys? Welcome to my first MLB The Show 26 stream in a month. Yeah, that's right. It's been a month. I know. Crazy, huh? I'll get into the details about what happened, why I was gone. I will get into that. But for right now, there's a lot of stuff that I need to make up on because I was gone for a month. I mean, it's like, it's crazy what I've missed and how far behind I am. I mean, the last time the last time that I streamed the summer break event program. And I know that because before I came on stream, I had to title the stream, and it said summer break event program grind. So that was the last thing that I did before I ended up disappearing for a month. So, and I know that event is gone. And I know there's been a lot of events since then and a lot of cards that I missed out on. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go back through the event program and get the rewind pack. And I'm going to have to do that a couple times. But it's not a big concern right now. What I will tell you, I know I missed out on the June Spotlight Drop program where they released all the tops now and the Spotlight Series guys. So I missed out on that. Missed out on the All-Star content. Missed out on the MLB draft stuff. And I've not done any of the July Spotlight Series drop programs at all. So this is a lot of content. That's the bad news. The good news is there's a lot of content. So there is absolutely no reason or nothing for me to not stream while I'm on here. So I think what would be the best thing is to start from where I left off and then make my way forward. I'm probably going to complete some of the program or make a lot of progress in some of the programs along the way. But ultimately, I think it's important that I start at least with the June Spotlight series programs that I missed out on, and then move forward from there. And of course, if I get the MLB Draft program, the All-Star Series program, if I do all those programs, then it is what it is. But my main focus, at least for today, is to get the the June Spotlight Series programs done, the ones that I missed out on. What's up, Dodger? Glad you're back. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Dabringa, you're wondering where I've been. I will get to that in a second. Cloud Crew, CJJ, what's up? You sent me a DM. I never got a DM on my Twitter, so you might want to double check where you sent it to because I never got a DM. So thank you, but I'm glad that you are wishing me well. What did I miss? You finished the live series program, live series SB Champ. Nice. So you got Pujols, Hernandez, you got Tulowitzki. I bet you're pretty pumped for that. Hoopin, OMG, miss you so much, man. I was so worried about you. Well, I appreciate that, Hoopin. Yeah, believe me, guys, I did not want to go away for a month, but I had no choice because this was a medical emergency that I suffered. Oh, was there no June Spotlight program? Or did I? Oh, wait, because I'm in the right. There's also the player Spotlight, or there's also the milestone and the cornerstone as well. I did not forget about yeah, I did forget about those. I did see this one. I didn't see the Mookie Betts one. It was health related. Glad you are well now. Well, yeah, yeah. That's my response. I was well enough to go home. I was well enough to go home, but I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm back to the way I was. Because the reality is that I'm not. Oh, okay, so we're in ads. Yeah, so you can see here I have a couple June spotlight programs I need to finish up. Never got Nunez, Zach Geloff. I don't think there were any Mets cards in these, so I'm not too worried about it. So I got to get all the spotlight guys in, or I'm sorry, the Tops Now and the Spotlight Series guys in. I need to do that. I may touch on the July Spotlight, but my focus is June for right now. What my plan is moving forward after that, no idea. That's my response. I have no idea. What's up, Spang? How are you? Thank you. I appreciate it. And I will get into why I've been away. I want to make sure people back for this. Oh, wow. I didn't see this. What do we need to do for this? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Wow. 250,000 parallel XP with the All-Star Series, MLB Draft, and Home Run Derby guys. Ooh, man, that's a lot. That's going to be a lot. And all for Byron Buxton. All right, so Spang, you're back. Champ, are you back? Because I'm going to get into why I was gone. I'll get into it in a minute. I just want to make sure that the people are here that, I want to be here. Okay. So, I don't know if I had touched on this earlier or if I had touched on it back when when I last streamed, but there was swelling in my right leg that was a cause for concern. So that Friday, it was very uncomfortable to walk. I tried to put my leg up so that I could maybe get the swelling down and everything. But nothing worked. And then Saturday, it was like, okay, I can't walk to work. This is going to cause me trouble. This is going to cause me pain. I need to take off for that Sunday night. So that's what I did. And that very Sunday, and I'm glad that I did take off because the swelling had moved to my left leg. And so I couldn't walk. It's even amazing to me how then I was even able to move because I could not walk for the life of me. I couldn't. So eventually, somehow, I made my way downstairs. Well, I did. That Monday, I went to the hospital. I said, I was telling them how I had stepped in a pothole. I felt a shock go up my knee. I thought, maybe that was a problem. They decided to do an x-ray, see if there were any broken bones. I knew there were no broken bones because if that were the case, I wouldn't have been able to put any pressure. I wouldn't have been able to, put any pressure on my legs. I could do that. I just couldn't walk very far. So so they do an x-ray. They find no broken bones. They decide, okay, we're going to send you back with lidocaine on your back, a back patch. We're also going to give you painkillers and see ya. So nothing got better. Okay. In fact, things got worse. I was sitting in a recliner for like 2 or 3 days. And then that Friday, so this is the 26th, I believe, the 26th of June, me and my dad, we were on the same page. We both decided that I was going to the hospital on the 26th. And so we go. It turns out I developed blood clots in my legs, in my groin area, in my IVC area, and my abdomen. So it was blood clots that basically, so I had to be admitted to the hospital, and they did a, here's the funny thing, that hospital was prepared to send me home again. I kid you not, they were ready to send me home again. They were like, they were ready to do it on Sunday because they gave me the little letter. I asked them to do a letter so that I could show to my boss, hey, I was out for a few days because I can't walk. So, and they were like, oh yeah, he was here from Friday to Sunday. So they were ready to send me home on Sunday. And I was like, no, you're not sending me home because I can't walk. I'm sorry. I know this is taking a lot of time away from the stream. I'm doing my best here. Let's see. Was Luis Garcia, was he June? Yes, he was. Okay, good enough for me. Luis Garcia. So I told them no. I said, I'm going to wait till you do a procedure on me to remove the blood clots that are in this area. And so they said, okay, we'll keep you here until we'll keep you here and we'll make sure you get the procedure and everything. So the procedure, basically what they did is they made a little hole in the back of my knees, and they went up into my veins or arteries or whatever, looking for these blood clots. Okay. Now the doctor who did it, the vascular surgeon who did this, she told me this was supposed to be a procedure that takes 2.5 hours. You know, it shouldn't be too hard. It took 4 hours. 4 hours. She was exhausted. It turns out that there were more blood clots than they initially thought, and they went into that incision and went up into my body multiple times. They also informed me that they also informed me that one of the blood clots was in an artery that led up into my chest. And they told me if I didn't get the procedure, if I had done the procedure much later, there was a good chance that blood clot would have been thrown up into my chest. And if that's what happened, I can tell you I would not be here right now. I'd be in a casket 6 feet under. So that was pretty scary to think about. So that kept me off my feet for a while. And then I was finally able to... Nope, that's something I hope to find out when I go see the vascular surgeon on August 4th. So their hope is that they find something too, because if they don't find anything, I'm on blood thinners for the rest of my life. But if they find something, so if they do find something, then that means that they can treat it, and I'm only on blood thinners for 6 months. So that's the that's what the hope is. Find out, and we'll see. Gosh, do I really have no cards at all? There we go. All right, Sebastian Rivero. He'll work for me. So, so they may not figure out. Yes. Yep. I have one in my groin area right now. Oh, it doesn't matter? Oh, well then in that case, screw it. Thank you for informing me of that because I wouldn't have known. I thought it had to be from like June, but if you're talking only like if it's any single card, then hey, I'm all for it. I'll keep Brokey in there. Oh wait, is this? Oh shoot! It was a wrong frickin' lineup. My bad. I'll keep Ewing in there. We'll put Braid in there and Kurtz. So you can develop blood clots if you sit in if you sit down for a long time, twice with blood clots. So you saying this well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but it's what happened with me, you know, and it's scary. You're absolutely right. It is scary. I mean, well, I can keep Mizorowski in there as well as Ashcraft, so that's good. But we can throw in Roki and Ime. I don't think it really matters, to be totally honest. So yeah, that's why I was out for a month. I spent 2 weeks, nearly almost 2 weeks in the hospital, and then I spent almost 3 weeks in rehab. Yeah, um, I was looking into a compression sock myself because I don't know if I can. The thing is, I can't lift up my legs. You didn't have to do your strain your health is the most pooping. I was gonna play. I wanted to get back to this so badly. Like you guys don't even know. I was so bored out of my mind with sitting in the hospital, sitting in that room at the rehab center. I mean, I was so bored. I actually started to miss work. Can you believe it? I was like, you know what? I just want to go to work. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that because I mean, I think compression socks are going to be important. So I definitely want compression socks for sure. All right, I think unless McAdoo, what's his speed? 71? Yeah, but no one else is better. So, okay, McAdoo it is. Anyway, enough about me. So now I can finally get into the game here. Finally, phew. Hopefully, I don't get locked out. Actually, let me just as a precaution. Just as a precaution. Carlos Beltran when he was on the Cardinals, and Andrew Jones, his Hall of Fame card. And believe me, I know about the Carlos Beltran card. That's the collection. So I'm fully aware of that. I will definitely get it. But I am so far behind in terms of this. So I better get going. My dad only found out he had them because he flew to Texas for a concert and came home and couldn't breathe well. Yeah, for me, it was just I sat in a position for so long that I mean, I could have developed blood clots before then. I mean, I don't know when I developed the blood clots. All I know is that when I went into the hospital on Friday, blood clots, they found them. So Friday, June 26th is when they found the blood clots. You'll get so much XP from doing it. You'll get multiple stuff done. Yep, that's exactly what my plan is. That's why it's good that there's a lot of content for me to grind because I'm going to make a lot of progress, hopefully, in the program, in the XP reward. Lost this leg because of it a long time ago. I pray I do not have to lose my leg. I don't think so because I've been able to walk on them, no problem. Um, See if I remember how to do this right. Could already tell it's a little jittery. Gotta get back into the swing of things, no pun intended. So I'm also worried about how this might affect me and my dad's trip to Phoenix in October. You know, I got to worry about that because we got to fly there. We got to fly. No way my dad's going to drive. Strike three, sit down. You're absolutely right. Sorry. Bright side, I was on vacation earlier this last weekend. Oh, well, there you go. At least you got to spend time with your niece and nephew. My sister did try to bring her kids over. Unfortunately, the niece, who's much older, she was not interested. She was more interested in trying to explore and figure out what this place was, the rehab center. So, and my sister up in Vermont couldn't come down to visit, so didn't get to see my nephew there. But at least I got to see my niece and nephew for a couple of minutes. Strike three, sit down. I will tell you guys that because the blood clots are still an issue, there may be a couple points in this stream where I'm going to have to pause for a few minutes, make sure I walk around, try to stretch out my legs, because I don't want to throw the blood clot into or risk throwing the blood clot and having to go back into the hospital. I don't want to do that. So I'm just letting you guys know there might be a time for that. I don't know when, probably an hour at every hour mark of the stream. But I haven't decided on that yet. So. But I want to let you know that I need to do that in order to make sure that the blood clots I don't throw the blood clots or develop any more. because I certainly don't want to develop any more. But yeah, it was very scary. It was very scary to think about. I mean, was I ever fearful that I was going to die? It never really became a major concern of mine, but at the same time, it was something that I did think about. In fact, I I had this dream where 5 individuals came to me, and I knew all 5 of these individuals because they were people who I was either friends or a relative of, and they were all dead. Am I back to my normal streaming schedule? Well, I got a lot to make up here. I got a lot of content, so I think, and I don't have work because I'm on short-term disability. So the earliest that I can go back to work is August 21st. So I've got plenty of time to be able to do the streams. I may even do some on the weekends. So strike. Oh wait, strike 3. Sit down for the previous guy. See, I need to get back into saying strike 3. Sit down. So I haven't said it for over a month. Still on light duty from your knee surgery? Light duty? Wait, what? Light duty? What does that mean? Speaking of knees, that's one thing that's been hurting me the last couple of days. I hope there's not a blood clot there, or something that I may have formed in my final days at the rehab center. But that's something for my vascular surgeon to take a look at and figure out what's going on there. No, absolutely. I mean, I was going to be on vacation. Not the week that I didn't stream at all, but like the last weekend, probably the first full week of July, I wasn't gonna stream, but can't do any strenuous work till next month at the earliest. Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. I got to figure out what am I going to do at what am I going to do for at work, because I can't. My job requires me to sit down at a computer, so I need to be able to figure out what is it that I'm going to do. I'm probably going to have to walk around and make sure I keep the blood flowing in my legs. Yeah, believe me, I would have said something if it was not an emergency. Or I would have said something in that Friday stream if it was a non-emergency, because usually I like to plan things in advance. For work? No. I mean, I used to be able to work from home during the COVID pandemic and everything. I used to be able to do that, but the company really doesn't want people doing that anymore. And also, the position that I'm in now, I can't really do that from home. So, exactly, yeah, I'm going to have to walk around a little bit. I don't have to go too far. I'll probably just walk around the office and everything. Hopefully my legs will be well enough at that point that they won't hurt me, kind of like they're hurting me right now in my knee, in my right knee. But We'll see what I can do in physical therapy. I mean, physical therapy at the rehab center only just made sure that I got back to being able to do stuff like climb stairs. I had to learn how to walk again. I had to learn how to climb stairs again. I had to relearn to do a lot of stuff. Strike 3, sit down. All right. Thanks, Hupin. I appreciate it. Enjoy work. Earn that money. Strike 3, sit down. Anyway. This right here, this streaming, no, I do this as a hobby. I do this because I love this video game. I love talking baseball. So this is something that I do as a hobby. Now, if people want to subscribe to me or donate bits or, support me financially, hey, I appreciate it. But as I've said multiple times in my stream, this is not my job. This is not something that people need to pay to see. Just being here, that's all I can ask for. So this is not my job. This is merely a hobby. My job is radio news. That was me in the basement. I had to relearn to walk, and now just getting back to doing stairs. Yep. And the thing is, I had to do it multiple times because I have like 20, okay, 19, there are 19 steps I need to walk in order to get up into this room, okay? 6 outside, 13 leading up to my room. So the staircase that they had 4 steps, so I had to go up and down it 5 times. What up, Ray? How are you? I asked myself the same question as a Mets fan. I was fed that we were going to be contending for the World Series this year, and instead they're 17 and a half back of the NL East, probably no shot. Yeah, most likely no shot. I can't tell you how far back they are in the wild card, but they're already being deemed sellers at the trade deadline. So guys in the bullpen are probably gone. Freddie Peralta is probably going to be gone. So I just got sold a bunch of crap. Yes, I did see that. But here's the good news for you guys. You can stay within striking distance of the Atlanta Braves if the Mets can beat them. And they have a doubleheader today. Mind you, they beat them on Monday. They beat them 14-3. So, squirrel? No, I don't believe so. In fact, this is probably the notification right here. There you go. The Mets beat Atlanta 3-2. So you guys remain in striking distance. The Phillies remain in striking distance of Atlanta. See, to me, I think your biggest problem is trying to get to Yohan Duran. The biggest problem for the Phillies is the bullpen. You guys need to get up to Duran. And there just so happens to be a divisional rival who is selling off some of their bullpen pieces. Might not hurt to inquire. I think the Dodgers could use some bullpen help as well because they nearly blew it against the Mets a couple times in that series. And honestly, once the Mets got away from the starting pitching of the Dodgers, I mean, they were competitive. Yeah, but has Duran done that all year, or has he been like, has that been few and far in between? I mean, I would still stick with him because I think he's the best reliever you guys got. Strike three, sit down. Yeah, and it sucks too because that may be Scooble's final start for the Tigers. Personally, if I'm the Tigers, unless a team offers up top prospects, like I'd say three top prospects, I wouldn't even trade Scooble because right now Scooble is the main reason that Tigers fans are even coming out to the ballpark. And believe me, I believe that because I watched Scooble pitch last year. And let me tell you something, I don't think I'll see someone pitch like Scooble in my lifetime. That is someone who is special, and I think the Tigers should continue to ride him and get as much money as they can out of him. And I understand that you don't want to let him leave in free agency, but that's why the Tigers have to make a big push and not something insulting. Like something that's like, whoa, okay, maybe the Tigers are actually in contention here. Maybe they can re-sign Scooble. I get it's a lot, and I know the Tigers don't like to spend, but Scooble is the kind of guy that you spend for, in my opinion. Wasn't the Tigers manager, a former player? Oh God, AJ Hinch. Yeah, I think he was a former player. AJ Hinch, I think he was, or I thought he was. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, the Mets are definitely going to be on the manager. They're going to be on they're going to be hiring a manager this next off season. There's no way. What's his name? Andy is going to be. There's no way he even said he doesn't want to be manager. I mean, here, let me double check. I thought it was AJ Hinch. Hang on, sorry, I have to send a text message. Sorry, I needed to clarify something. Oh, so are the Phillies because Mattingly sucks now? I mean, they're still in contention, and honestly, Miami is going to be tough because they're competing for a wild card, so they're going to be competitive. As are the NL East is competitive aside from the Mets, and that's something I never thought I would say. If someone can look up if AJ Hinch was a former player, I'd appreciate it. I'd look it up on my phone, but I don't want to. I don't want to pause the game again. because I'm going to have to pause it later. Take a break so that I can get my legs stretched out. It is not easy to walk, let me tell you. It is not, with these blood clots, not easy to walk.
That's a ball.
But they're still in contention. He did play. That's what I thought. I don't remember what team he played for, but I do remember that he did play. So thank you. I appreciate it, Bray. But I mean, so did Craig Counsell. There was also a manager, I think, for the... there was a manager for the Cardinals and the Royals. This was like early 2010s, who was a former ball player himself. He was a former catcher. God, I forget his name. Well, Don Mattingly, right there. Don Mattingly was a former player. Or am I thinking of a different Don Mattingly?
Nope, outside.
I mean, there's even talks that Carlos Beltran may take over as manager of the Mets next year. Dave Roberts. Thank you, Dodger, for popping up.
That's a ball.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't confusing Don Mattingly, the manager, with Don Mattingly, the baseball player. Willie Randolph. He was a former baseball player. Yogi Berra was also a former manager. He even managed the Mets to the 1973 World Series. So there's a history of former players becoming managers. I think for the Tigers, Alan Trammell, I think, was a former manager too. Strike 3, sit down. But yeah, there are a lot of examples. So, but we'll see what happens with the managerial search for the Mets. I mean, I've also heard Alex Cora. Cora definitely played. I know that for a fact. Oh, Christ. Oh, they're only going to get the one. Okay. That works for me. So. No, I'm not going to go. Yes, the throw was offline, but I wasn't going to go. Oh, you're playing golf. All right. Well, I can tell you're already a lot better than me because I don't know. Other than driving, I don't play much golf. In fact, I don't even drive. I don't even do the golf ball driving a lot. I only did it like once in my life, even though there's a driving range not far from my house. Just like, nah, not interested. Not my cup of tea. Give me baseball. Give me a guy throwing a ball to home plate while another guy tries to smack that ball into the stands for a home run. Give me that over golf any day. And I just want to be clear, that's just a preference. I'm not saying that baseball is better than golf. It's just a preference. I prefer baseball over golf. So, clarifying that right now. Because of LeBron, I got to tell you, I know people were excited about LeBron going to Philadelphia, but I got to tell you, at this point in his career, I'm not sure what he really offers that makes the 76ers a contender.
That's ball two.
Next week, you're going to Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Nice. I love both stadiums. They were my personal favorites. Baltimore was awesome because, well, whatever I write down in my notes. Pittsburgh was beautiful, okay? The skyline, the stadium. Oh, Baltimore, what I liked about it is just how much it was catered to kids. I mean, they had a freaking jungle gym for the kids. He's out. He's out by a country mile. I will say, though, be careful with Pittsburgh because their food service may be a little slow. And their screen now in Baltimore, their little their center field screen is huge. You're going to the Mets series. The Mets series against Baltimore? No, Baltimore's coming to New York, and I know because everyone's excited about Pete Alonso's return to New York. Like, I haven't seen this much excitement around the players' return to New York since Mike Piazza came back to the Mets as a San Diego Padre. And let me tell you something, when Piazza hit a home run against the Mets, the entire stadium erupted like he had hit it for the Mets. Oh, nice. That's cool. Closest I ever came to a Super Bowl ring was knuckle touching Joe Gibbs after a NASCAR race. He had his Super Bowl ring. I forget which one it was for the Redskins, but he had that ring on, and I knuckle touched it, and I was like, "Oh my God, that may be the closest that I ever come to a Super Bowl ring." I may never see the Jet. I probably won't see the Jets do it, nor will I see a replica. But yeah, in terms of LeBron at this point in his career, I just don't know what he adds. I don't think he puts them over the edge. I don't think he puts them over the edge or over the Knicks. I think the Knicks are still the quality team of the are still the team of the East, team in the East to beat. I don't know if they're gonna repeat, but I know that in terms of the East, it runs through New York. At least the Knicks, not through the Nets. Nets are just sad. Mets play Pittsburgh. Oh, I see. It's okay. So they're going to Pittsburgh. Got it. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember now. Ooh. Ooh. Seeing the stadium for the Daytona 500. Yeah, Daytona International Speedway. It's huge, man. It's huge. Like, you look at it and you drive by and you're like, oh, that's not that huge. Yeah, there's a whole back straightaway that you're not seeing. Once you get in those stands and you see how big the racetrack is, it's pretty big. You'll say, holy that's big. Well, it's probably a lot bigger than what you think it is. I actually got to ride on it. You know, my dad signed me up to do a ride along for 3 laps. And dude, I could tell you I was excited, but at the same time I was scared. Dude went 70 miles per hour on pit road. And I'm thinking, holy crap, 70 miles per hour just on pit road? And I see why he had to do that. Because he had to get up to over 100 miles per hour in order to make sure we went through the turn without getting into the wall. So he probably had to be up over 150 miles per hour, close to that, before he got into the turn. I mean, my mouth was agape. It was like, but what a thrill! What a thrill it was! It was a lot of fun. I don't know if I would do it again, but it was a lot of fun for sure. What is there to do at PNC? Well, the kids area, there's really not much. That's one of my biggest disappointments. Not that I was interested in I was trying to hang out there. But I was like, for a team that hasn't had a history of doing well, you would think that they would kind of be like Detroit, having a Ferris wheel and a merry-go-round at their stadium. You got to draw the kids, because otherwise, why would adults go see a team that really has not had a lot of success the last few years, really the last decade, since Andrew McCutchen was MVP. I'm just saying. I mean, when you go, you got to walk across the Roberto Clemente Bridge. You got to do that. It's kind of like a rite of passage when you go to PNC. And it's the bridge that's the closest to the stadium, so you got to do that. Also, you could get a picture with the Roberto Clemente statue that's out there. It's literally right after you cross the bridge. So you got that. In left field, you got to go to the top of that little, I don't know what they call it, the ramp thing in left field. You got to go to the top of that and you got to get a picture. You got to do that. You also should go, if you can, because they let me do this in Baltimore, but I don't think I was able to do it in Pittsburgh. But if you can, strike three, sit down. Take a picture from the right field wall, too. Oh, thanks, Bubbles. Yeah, I explained it at the beginning of the stream, but you're just getting in now. I had a medical emergency. I developed blood clots, so I had to go to a hospital and then go to rehab for over a month. I'm doing well enough that they sent me home, but I mean, walking is still hard to do right now. Any good food? It's a rehab center. What kind of good? Not exactly. Oh, you're talking about at the base at PNC. Well, I only had the burger with fries, but I was so pissed that it took them forever for me to get my food that I wasn't really interested in doing getting other food. So unfortunately, Food Critic not really going to be able to help you there. Let me see, what else is there to do at PNC? To me, it was just a beautiful place to get a lot of pictures. Like that to me was the the one activity that I manage to go on my trip? No, because I developed blood clots. So I was in the hospital. And what sucks is I never got refunded for the room in Toronto. I did for the room in Cooperstown, but I did not get refunded for the room in Toronto. So that's that's $600. Well, I think it was $600 a night. That's pretty much down the drain, unless I can fight it. But at this point, I think I'm gonna have a hard time with that. Strike three, sit down. So I know, but at least I didn't book the rental car. I didn't book the tickets either. So that's the good news. So really, the only thing that I lost money on was the hotel room in Toronto. But I didn't book a rental car. I figured I was going to do that I was going to do that the following week. All right. Oh wait, did they get a hit? Because it doesn't look like that. Doesn't look like the no hits, the perfect game celebration. Weird. Okay, whatever. I don't care about the celebration, nor do I even care they threw a perfect game. I'm only interested in the stats and the XP and the parallel XP as well. So I know Gauge Jump definitely got a lot of that. No, I still have quite a bit of blood clots in me. All right, so let's see. I got a couple of tops now, guys. Not sure if these guys are from, the June Spotlight programs or if this is just July. I hope so too. I mean, I'm also not seeing a lot of. There's still some swelling in my feet too. Oh, you know what? You know what? These are probably June, and these are probably July. That would make the most sense to me. See, I got a lot of packs too, but with the well, yeah, unfortunately, boycott's just it's something that yeah, SP Champ is right. I mean, that's why I'm on blood thinners. You know, pulled Willie McGee 3 times yesterday. Uh, is Willie McGee in like the headliners pack? Is he in the Is he what pack? Well, you could be one. I mean, you just got to do well in science, and then you got to go to med school. Oh, the new Chase pack card. Ah, oh gosh, I hope I have enough time to be able to get to Trout and Otani. I don't really need to 360K. That's not bad. You know what? I want to see what my progress is with the. Let's see. Oh, I need. They want. Yeah, but not much. Not much. Oh, you know what? I meant to get up and just walk around for a bit. Dang it, I can't believe I forgot that. They were in my legs. They're probably still in my legs. They're in my groin area. They were also in my IVC and my abdomen area, which was the biggest concern because they were pretty close to my chest. So if any of them had gotten up into my chest, I'd be dead. Oh yeah, um, it's actually pretty funny. The Well, first of all, I got to credit the fact that they didn't give me a whole lot to eat when I was at the rehab center. I'm not saying they starved me. I'm just saying it wasn't a lot. I also didn't eat a lot of snacks either. And also, I didn't drink a lot of sugary drinks. It was mainly Coke Zero, and that was only for lunch. And water bottle with some mix in it to make it taste sweeter. So today, okay, when I first arrived at the rehab center, when I arrived there, I had weighed I weighed in at 296.6. Today, before I left, I weighed in and I came in at 272.6. So somehow, over the course of nearly almost 3 weeks, I lost over 20 pounds. I don't know how. I do not know how. But all I know is that that's the difference right there. Over 20 pounds lost. I also wanted to credit it to the fact that the swelling started to go down in my legs, so that I'm not retaining water. Yep, I got out. I arrived home at 12:30. Of course, my dad decided he wanted to go shopping, so I went shopping with him. I think I got out of there probably at 11. Absolutely. No, I absolutely agree. I'm not going to discontinue it just because I'm out of rehab. No. The biggest reason is that they diagnosed me in the hospital with pre-diabetes. So they told me I had to lose weight, and I had to watch what I eat. So I can only eat chicken, turkey, protein stuff. Veggies, that's going to be harder. That's going to be much harder. I wish I could say that I did it, but not even close. So think of that. I get blood clots and then I get told, oh, you have pre-diabetes too. Great. Thanks. So that's why I cut off all the sugary stuff. In fact, no ice cream. Can't have ice cream unless it's zero sugar. Um, my niece's birthday is coming up, but I'm likely not able to have a piece of cake because of all the sugar. It's really a double whammy is what it is. Bam, you have what? You have blood clots. Bam, you also have pre-diabetes. Like, shoot. I mean, I'll be honest. I knew that there was probably something wrong with me health-wise prior to these blood clots. Like, I figured I was going to have some kind of health issue. Um, I never wanted to go to a doctor to find out because I was afraid I'm gonna have to change my diet, which that's exactly what I've had to do. I can't have burgers, can't have hot dogs. I mean, chicken, turkey, all the white meat, all the protein, that's it. That's all I can have. And in all honesty, I could probably only have one plate. So that's why I never wanted to go to the doctor. But because of that reason, I probably got blood clots. So the blood clots may have led me to may have led to my diagnosis, but I just wonder if my diagnosis caused my blood clots. Like it was a two-way street. I don't know. That's something that my vascular surgeon is going to have to tell me on Tuesday. So, no, I believe me, I have no choice in this matter. I have no choice in this matter. I have to keep up with this diet because my dad will not allow me to eat anything else. I told him to go buy turkey beef or ground turkey, because if he was going to make burgers, make turkey burgers for me at least. I mean, my brother he probably can have burgers. So can my mom, probably my dad too. No, that's it. Let me tell you something, Bubbles. Chicken was all I ate when I was in the hospital. Yeah, I could have had other stuff, but chicken was primarily the meat that I ate. So believe me, I have nothing against chicken. That's not what I'm complaining about here. It's just it can't be fried. It can be grilled. Grilled is fine, but no fried. Cannot be fried. Which is awful because my dad makes really good fried chicken. In fact, he has I think he has leftover fried chicken in the fridge, but I can't have it. He'll be on me like, no, 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 you can't have that. So my family's going to keep me in check for sure. They're not going to let me slip off the diet because they don't want me to have to rely on a GLP-1 medication in order to lose weight and avoid diabetes. So I'm not trying to make it seem like a big deal, but I'm just saying, like, for the longest time, I avoided going to the doctor because of this very reason, changing my diet. Although my biggest fear was that I was going to be told I had to eat rabbit food. And by rabbit food, I mean basically veggies. So I'm glad that I actually still get to eat meat. Because otherwise I'd be like, I'd have a really hard time. So, and like I said, my family's not going to let me stray. And if I do cheat a little bit, it's only as a treat. Oh yeah, absolutely, champ. Well, that's what I said at the beginning. That there's so much content for me to grind. Honestly, I may just keep streaming every day until I get all this content wrapped up. I mean, there's an event program, but that's going to end on on Friday, so I may have to wait for the next event program because I doubt I doubt I'm going to be able to make progress to get Trevor Hoffman. And plus, I'm just getting back into the game. It's probably a good idea for me to, get back into the swing of things. Plus, there's a lot more XP I can earn through the programs than what I can earn online anyway. It just sucks because I'm gonna miss out if the I don't. When does the All-Star content for online in the online program, the multiplayer program, when does that expire? Mini seasons? Yep, gonna have a lot of mini seasons to do. The Hall of Fame one, the All-Star one. I'll look it up myself. It'll take me all of like 5 minutes, not even like a minute. I guess I should have looked at how much Tuesday Weekend Classic is. Oh, well, how about that? That's it. This is actually the first weekend I could do Weekend Classic if I wanted to. But like I said, there's so much content, offline content for me to grind. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get to um, what happened with my job. I'm on short-term disability, so they've had to fill in for me. And I'm not coming off, I can't come off of disability until at the earliest August 21st. And even then, I'm not sure because it'll all depend on what my doctors say. They say, okay, you're good, you could go back to work. Then I'll go back to work on August 21st. But they say, no, we still have some concerns. We're not going to sign off on it because my company will not let me back into the office until they have a signed form that says I can go back to work. It's a liability thing, which I totally understand because I would ask of the same thing. So they just had people filling in for me. I don't know how. And maybe it's not really my business. I still got to do my yearly review. I still got to do that. So, but when I was in the hospital, I had a lot of time to think because unfortunately you can't play PlayStation in the hospital. Not that I tried to find out for myself, but
That ball's foul.
I figured I wasn't going to be able to play. Times like this, I kind of wish that the PlayStation was more like the Nintendo Switch, where it was portable, so I could have brought it with me. I may not have been able to stream, but at least I would have been able to still play it. Anyway, um, but with my job, like I've I've had a lot of time to think and and reflect. Hold on, I need to. This is the point where I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, just walk around, make sure that I get my legs stretched out and I'm not throwing any blood clots. So I will be right back, guys, and I'll pick up with this thought on work and everything. So I will be right back. All right. Thank you guys for giving me the time to be able to do that. You know, just I needed it. Gotta gotta walk around every now and then and just make sure the blood is still flowing through my legs and everything. So, all right. So last thing that I was doing the spotlight drop 3. Yep. Next, I was the one who commented. Oh, okay. Yeah, believe me, I'll answer your question. Nobody except for Unknown Gamer even knew about my blood clots, and Gamer didn't even know until I popped into one of his streams and told him, what was it, like a few weeks ago when I was first in rehab. So nobody knew about it. I wasn't going to put it out there, honestly, because I didn't want the whole, I didn't want to be public with it. I just wanted to, yeah, that's kind of why I backed out and then went into like the XP reward path. Believe me, I know the glitches that this game still has, and I'm gone a month and they still don't address it. Yeah, exactly. He didn't know then. It was only like during the All-Star, or was it during the All-Star break? It might have been before the All-Star break. I'm not sure. But yeah, I didn't really tell anyone except for him, and he didn't know until around the All-Star break. And clearly it's an indication that he didn't tell anyone else, so I do appreciate him not saying anything, because like I said, I didn't want it to be out there. I didn't want like all thoughts and prayers and everything and drawing attention to it. I really just wanted to keep it close, and then I figured I'd reveal it once I got home. Strike 3, sit down. Of course, I didn't know I was going to be in the hospital and rehab for over a month. I I honestly couldn't tell you. Like I said, the hospital was ready to send me home after 3 days. They were ready to send me home, and that's when I still couldn't walk. And I was like, no, you're not sending me home. I'm not going home. No. You're doing that procedure on me, and then we'll go from there. But you are not sending me home. Ooh, that was an out? Wow. Too slow. And I failed the moment, so now I gotta restart it. So nobody, I mean, a couple people knew at work. That was it. Yeah, doing better is probably the better phrase here instead of back to normal, because I'm not really back to normal. Strike 3, sit down. I think the whole healthcare system sucks because it's all dictated on whatever the insurance is willing to cover. So the insurance companies, I feel like, dictate how the healthcare system works. So strike 3, sit down. Drake Baldwin. Rising rookies. Yep. I already got Carson Benz, so I don't need him again. But I could use Peyton Toll or Bubba Chandler. Be nice if I got one of these guys too. See Finley, Gary Carter. Exactly. You know, I don't know for sure myself what could happen. You know, my hope is that I'll keep getting better, and you know, the blood clots will become manageable, but I'll have to wait and see. But anyway, I said I was going to talk about when I got back to the stream. I said I was going to pick up on my thought. So when I was in the hospital, like I said, I had a lot of time to think, you know, and one of the thoughts that came across my mind was, you know, I didn't believe that I was going to die, but death was definitely something that came across my mind in the form of, if this is truly it for me, okay, if God were to take me now, and this is when I was in the hospital, and that was it. I could join those 5 individuals that I mentioned, and you know, just wait for loved ones. But if I were to die, would I be satisfied with my life? Can I reflect on it and say, you know what? If this is truly it, I feel satisfied with it. And that was a hard thing to look at. It was. But the answer came in the form of my niece and nephews. All right? They're my niece is a toddler. My nephews they're infants. And I look at that and I said, if I were to die, they would never know who I was. And if they wanted to find out, they would have had to ask my sisters about it. What up, gamer? Hey, by the way, thanks for not saying anything about my blood clots before I came back. I appreciate that. I figured you weren't going to say anything, but still, I appreciate the fact that you didn't say anything about them. I wanted to be the one who explained it. So, but I looked at them and I said, if I were to die, they would have to ask my sisters what I was like when I was alive. They would never know me. They would and my sisters, it might be hard for them. It might get emotional for them. Keyword is might. I don't know. And if I'm looking down from heaven or looking up from hell or whatever, I really don't know what is the afterlife. But if I'm looking at that in the afterlife, I could never be satisfied with that. Strike 3, sit down. I could never. I could never live with, my spirit would never be satisfied with hearing that question. I could never. So ultimately, my niece and my nephews became the ones that motivated me to get better, to be healthy. Because I want to take them to their first baseball game. I want them to grow up to love baseball just as much as I do. I want to see them go off to college. I want to see my niece graduate college. I want to see my two nephews, being able to be able to drink, not much, just drink and maybe enjoy it with them. But I want to drink with them. I want to be able to do all that stuff with them, and dying is not going to allow me to do that. So my niece and my nephews became my motivation for continue to get better health wise. They are my motivation. All right. I'm living for them. So that's how I'm going to approach every day. Every day is a chance for me to be able to live for my niece and my nephews. And every day is a day closer to when I can bring them to baseball games, to when I can create memories with them, when I can see them go off to college, when I can see them, start to enjoy life. Every day is closer to that, and that's where I want to get to. So I have no plans of dying, and I have no plans of letting something like blood clots take me. So that's my motivation right there. I don't want to get diabetes. I want to be able to beat it so that I can live long enough, or I can live to see all that my niece and nephews accomplish. That's my motivation. So I live for them.
No, that's down. Ball.
I'm sorry if that seemed heavy, but it's true. It's true. Like they are the reason that I want to live. I know right now my niece is scared of me, and my two nephews, they're so young, they don't even know who I am. I mean, helped them. I helped them on multiple occasions. But you know what? I'm not going to stop trying to be a good uncle. Attaboy Colt Keith. So I guess to answer that question that I posed about whether or not I'd be satisfied with what I've accomplished in my life, and if I could leave Earth, or spirit, yeah, leave it and go to the afterlife. No, I am not satisfied. And quite honestly, I don't think I'm going to be satisfied until I have those memories with my niece and nephews. So I have no plans in the future to die. And I certainly hope God, Mother Nature, my body, or any other outside forces that I'm not accounting for has any plans to take. I can only control what I can control, and that is my health. So that's exactly what I'm going to control. And then whatever else happens, happens. But at the very least, I'm not ready to go. All right, there we go. So the third spotlight drop program is done. We've got Nunez. Just got to go here. Right. Okay, so gel off is the reward here. We need 500 parallel XP with him in order to get the spotlight thing. Yep. Oops. That's where I meant to go. Because I want to get that Sandy Alcantara milestone card. May not get me any stubs, but at least it's in there. So what can I do now? Any players, infielders, outfielders. So I have no. It doesn't have to be a spotlight thing. Okay. All right. That's good to know. No, that's all right. That's all right. You do you. Joe Torre. All right. All right. Cool. Justin Dean. All right. I just wanted to get those out of the way. Ugh, excuse me. All right. I think I'll go ahead and play another play versus CPU game, but I'm going to have to choose someone else. Ooh, we could do Rockies. Yeah, let's do the Rockies. So, if they ever watch this one day, I hope they know just how much they mean to me, and that I wanted to change my health or improve my health for them, my niece and nephews. But we'll see how life goes. Unfortunately, I can't predict the next 20, 30, 40 years. Strike three, sit down. If I could, believe me, I would absolutely play the lottery and become like a millionaire or a billionaire. So a lot of reflection was done in the hospital. A lot. Exactly. I mean, right now it's a little hard because my niece is scared, except for her grandmother, my brother-in-law's mother, and obviously her parents and her little brother.
Ball, that's upstairs.
But she's scared of a lot of people. Still, I'm gonna. Her birthday is coming up, so I'm gonna be at that party again. I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to eat cake unless they get sugar-free cake. But then I'm just ruining it for everyone. But yeah, I mean, I live for them. Now, I may settle down myself, end up with a nice woman, and may have something else to live for. You know, my own flesh and blood. But till that happens, I live for my niece and my nephews. And hopefully a Mets World Series too. But one thing at a time. Jets aren't happening. I'm better off playing the lottery right now. And I'll probably hit it before the Jets even win a Super Bowl. That's just the reality that I've come to accept from the Jets. Their best shot was 20 years ago. Unfortunately, they went up against a Steeler team that was just more, not more, but they were better. But Chad Pennington, Curtis Martin, Lavernius Coles, Santana Moss, Anthony Becht, Kevin Mayway. Did I watch? You're talking about the World Cup games? Yeah, I actually did. Yeah, I watched quite a number of them, even after the U.S. was eliminated. Although, Mets games? No. No, I couldn't. Unfortunately, the TVs in both the hospital and the rehab center, unless it was Pix 11 or on Fox, they didn't have SNY, so I couldn't watch. They also didn't have Apple TV Plus. So I don't know if they had any games on Apple TV Plus. I think they did, but it didn't matter. But no, I was not able to watch a lot of their games unless it was on Pix 11 or if it was on Fox. That's about all I had. TBS too, but none of the Mets games showed up on that. And I wasn't really interested in other teams. I like to watch my Mets. No, I did, but I wasn't. Oh, well, not in the hospital, but at the rehab center, yeah. Rehab center, yes, I did have it with me. This whole season, Bubbles, for the Mets has been a complete disaster. It's not good. It's not good. So I've just lost interest and am just waiting to see what happens at the trade deadline, what moves they make. Because they got to work on next year. They're going to have no excuse next year. I mean, they better get it done because there are a number of guys that they're going to have that are in the final years of their player control deals. So they're going to have a lot of guys they're going to have to make some decisions on. Don't really have much of a choice. We're stuck with life, for better or for worse. All our highs, all our lows, we're going through it. The important thing, the important thing is you try to have more highs than you do lows, because the lows just do nothing but, wreck you mentally and really make you question why things, why continue, or why enjoy life, why be nice to people, that kind of stuff. You should always be nice to people, unless they're miserable and they decide they're going to throw it back in your face or they take advantage of you. Then a line has to be drawn there. Strike 3, sit down. But, this is why I really wanted to do that stadium baseball tour. I mean, it sucks that this year I couldn't go to Toronto. Strike 3, sit down. Now, I could always go next year, but I'd rather go when the Mets are going to be at Rogers Center. Rather be there when they're there.
Nope. Outside.
Still, I mean, I'll say the silver lining in this whole blood clot situation, I'm back on a normal sleep schedule. I couldn't even believe it. Like, I go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, sometimes 11, and I'm up at like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. And I have the whole day ahead of me. I can tell you, I don't have that luxury. I don't have that luxury when I'm on my overnight sleep schedule. So I'm going to enjoy it for as long as I can. And the other thing, too, that, I kind of thought about as I was in the hospital, like being able to walk again, being able to do stairs, I can never take that for granted. I feel like we take that for granted because we think, oh, we're always going to be walking, we're always going to be going upstairs or going downstairs, and not a big deal. For me, I can never take that for granted again. For me, it matters. It really matters. Because how was I supposed, if I didn't get these blood clots looked at, if I didn't have the procedure, who knows if I could have walked? Heck, who knows if I would have been alive? That doesn't mean I'm going to start appreciating every single breath that I take, but strike 3, sit down. But with that said, I appreciate the fact that I'm going to be able to walk. I appreciate the fact that I can climb stairs. And also, I just want to give a big shout out to my dad, because he was with me throughout the entire ordeal. All right, he came to visit me in the hospital the most. He couldn't come every day, but he came as much as he could. He brought me stuff when I needed it. Like, my dad was there for me. And that's the other thing. I'll never take him for granted again. Not that I did take him for granted, but my appreciation for him got even more because of this ordeal. That's what I'm thinking. They wanted to send me, like I said, they wanted to send me home that Sunday, and I was like, no, I can't walk. If I can't walk, I'm not going home. I have steps. I'm not going home. So that's the other important thing that I want a lot of people to take away from this stream. Okay? never, if you don't feel right, but yet some people are going to tell you to brush it off and say, it's probably nothing, it's not a big deal, you'll be fine. No, you feel that something is wrong, go to a hospital. Don't second guess it, because that could be the very thing that leads you to 6 feet under. And that's not a good thing. So don't, even if it's doctors, okay? You know your body better than the doctors do, because it's your body. So you can feel the pain, you can feel the you can feel whatever it is that is wrong in your body. And if it doesn't feel right, it's not right, and you should not let anyone push you, let you, or force you to say, oh, well, it'll probably take care of itself. No, no. You know your body better than anyone. So if it don't feel right, it's not right. Do not take any chances. Woogie, you're asking about what blood clots are. I figured this question was going to come up, and I did not do a good job. So Google defines a blood clot as a gel-like clump of blood cells and proteins that stop bleeding after an injury. Basically, they clog up. They form together and they clog up, and that's a problem because it can really affect the blood flow. Although I think I should just wait until Woogie is back from the ads to explain it. Because I was kind of curious myself. I thought I had an idea, but at the same time, I'm not a doctor, and I just knew that it could kill. But I didn't know precisely what it was. All right. So Google defines blood clots as a gel-like clump of blood cells and proteins that stops bleeding after an injury. So it basically forms up, it's a bunch of cells and proteins that form up around your veins and your arteries, and they get to the point where they prevent blood flowing to other parts of your body. Yep. And SB Champ is absolutely right. If it's left untreated, you could lose a limb, or even worse, your life. It could be that deadly, but I think it's mostly deadly if it goes up into your chest. I think it's also deadly if it gets into your brain, because that can lead to strokes, but the biggest concern is definitely the chest. If it gets up into your lungs, that's a big problem. Yes, very much so. That's why I went to the hospital for them. Blood thinners. They'll also tell you, you got to move around. The SB Champ was saying earlier that his dad, on these long car rides on vacation, whenever they stopped for gas, he would get out of the car and just walk around for a bit. Yeah, so SB Champ definitely has knowledge and experience in this. So he'll probably tell you more than what I can, but in my experience, it's not good. It's very dangerous. So that's why I had to be in the hospital. If I didn't go to the hospital, I was screwed. It's as simple as that.
Ball. That's inside.
It can also be caused if by sitting a lot. Like you know how I sit here for 3 hours? Yeah, if I sat here any longer, the blood clots were more likely to form. Yeah, that's exactly what the doctor told me, that there's a chance that I'm on blood thinners for the rest of my life. But if that's what needs to happen in order for me to live, then that's what has to happen. Again, I don't want it to be like that. No, I wish I were, but unfortunately the blood clots prevented me from going on vacation. Because you can't really drive with blood clots in your legs. It just, it's very difficult to do that, especially a 6-hour trip from New Jersey to Vermont. That's a long time, and I can't just stop. Well, I could stop and get out and walk around. Sometimes injuries happen. In fact, you know, I was telling the story how I stepped in a pothole and felt a shock go up my leg. I'm wondering if maybe that's what caused my blood clots to form. If that's the case, I might have a case against the city of New York. Strike three, sit down. But they could also say, well, this guy does this, you know, it's not our fault. Stepping in that pothole and feeling the shock up my leg, yeah, that was definitely the first time, because a couple days later, that's where my right leg started to swell, and my right leg, or my right foot, was the one that stepped in that pothole. So, no, I am on short-term disability until August. So, and in that, and let me be clear, that doesn't mean I'm hanging out at home all the live long day. No, I've got I've got appointments I need to go to. I'm going to set up sessions with with a physical therapist so that I can continue to get stronger. So it's not simply, oh, you're off of work, so you don't have to do anything. No, that is not the case. I need to make sure that I can go back to, I need to make sure that I can walk long distances, because I walk to and from work in New York City. So if I can't do that, there's a problem. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Woogie. Thank you. And that's exactly what I told them at physical therapy. I said, listen, I walk long distances, so I need to be able to get back to the point where I can walk long distances and I don't feel pain that prevents me from going into work. Now, the physical therapy at the rehab center just got me back to the point where I was walking and I could climb up steps. So I'm hoping this physical therapist that I'm going to will help me get back to walking long distances. You know, maybe treadmill for start off, try 5 minutes, 5 minutes of walking. And if I could do more, maybe do more, but we'll see. Yeah, I absolutely agree. He should have been fired at the end of April. Not that the Mets had any good options in terms of replacing him. Because they didn't. I mean, we beat the Phillies, but we dropped the series against the Dodgers, and we just took 2 out of 3 against Atlanta, looking for a sweep later today. But we do have the Marlins coming to town, and that's not going to be any easy task, especially they just dropped 8 runs on the Phillies to beat them and sweep the series against the Phillies. I'll not bug you on this, but you need to think about your eternity and the afterlife. I just don't want to think about it right now because I want to focus more on living and being there for my niece and nephews. That's what I want to focus on. I think I have plenty of time when I'm older and strike 3, sit down, and life. My niece is graduating from college. My nephews are enjoying their time at college, assuming they go to college. There's always the possibility they don't go to college, which is fine. I just hope there's a plan. Like, not simply live off of money or live off of certain people's money. Because that's not a way to live. I mean, you want to do trade school? Do trade school. You don't want to go to college afterwards? Okay, so then what's the plan? What are you going to be? Are the Mets going to be buyers or sellers this deadline? Sellers. They're already talking about getting rid of their bullpen. They're talking about trading Freddie Peralta. Francisco Alvarez's name has come up in trade rumors. I wish some team would just be willing to take a flyer on Mark Vientos, because at this point it doesn't seem like he's going to be much use for the Mets. I think maybe Brett Beatty might get some consideration, especially since it really depends. Is Lindor, not this trade deadline. Something may happen in the offseason, but it's not going to happen this trade deadline. Lindor's not going to let that happen. And I think for as much as he's not been very good for the Mets, especially in the beginning of the season, I just don't think it's a time now to do it. Because, I mean, look, the Mets have to be serious. Here's the thing, though, that Woogie, in terms of why it would be a bad idea for the Mets to trade Lindor. I mean, he may have that in there, but I don't know for sure. But with that said, the biggest reason I think for the Mets not to trade Lindor is this question: who are they going to get to play at shortstop? Emerson Hancock? I mean, the Mets do need pitching, but again, who are they going to get to play shortstop? Pena is actually Pena may be gone. We may have traded him to the Cardinals for Bo, maybe, but you're gonna take a chance on Beatty. I mean, look, Beatty. I've liked Beatty, but I just don't think he's. I don't think he's the third baseman of the future for the Mets. And the other thing too that has my biggest concern is that um, they're gonna platoon Vientos and Beatty, put Polanco or Vientos at third base. I mean, Polanco is not hitting. I don't even want him as a DH. His average is so bad right now. I think it's like below the Mendoza line. And Vientos is too inconsistent, too streaky. Needs to be more consistent. And he's not that great of a fielder either. Beatty is the better fielder at third. You want him back? Honestly, I'll trade him back and you could give us your worst. You could give us J.P. Crawford for all I care. And I'll take it.
Strike two.
Strike three, sit down. For Polanco, anyone will do. Strike three, sit down. But the problem, if he's an outfielder, that's a problem because we can't. There's not enough outfield positions for that. I mean, there's no way they're sending down Ewing or Bench. They're stuck with Robert. Tyrone Taylor is going to get traded, and we have Juan Soto too. Who has been? Who has been? Are you trying to say who has been the Mets player? Well, what do you mean? The other thing too about Bichette, Woogie, is Bichette could opt out of his contract after this season. He has opt outs all the way throughout. So he could opt out after this year if he wanted to. And there's been no indication on his part about whether or not he plans to do that. Because if there was an indication, then the Mets would trade him. But I think he might have a no trade clause in his contract, so maybe they can't get rid of him that easily. He's been the best player. Give me 1 second. Hold on. I'm going to pause for a second. Um, and show me war. No, it can't show me war. Well, then I guess I'm going to baseball reference. Hold on, guys. All right. In terms of WAR, um, oh, okay. Let me know when you're back.
Inside, ball one.
Okay. So in terms of WAR, it's actually a tie. Two players have a 2.5 WAR. That's Juan Soto and AJ Ewing. Now, in terms of WAR for pitcher, it's Clay Holmes. He's at a 2.0. Luke Weaver is not far behind him with a 1.8 WAR, and Nolan McLean also has a 1.8. So right now, the best players are strike three, sit down. Juan Soto, AJ Ewing. Okay, so it's WAR above, it's wins above replacement. It means like how much do you contribute to your team winning over the guy who's behind you in the depth chart or ahead of you. So, Juan Soto, obviously he's going to have more WAR than, let's say, Tyrone Taylor. If Tyrone Taylor, Tyrone may be a center fielder, so AJ Ewing would be more of the example. But AJ Ewing, okay. Let's say we compare him and Tyrone Taylor. Now, AJ Ewing has a lot more starts in center field. He has a lot more at bats, even though he recently came up, or he came up, what was it? When did he come up? I think it was May or June, probably May that he came up. So he came up a month into the season, and but in his time starting for the Mets in center field, he's made great defensive plays. He's had good at bats. He has a decent average. If I can look at his average here, AJ Ewing has a .271 average compared to Tyrone Taylor, who has a 250. Now, that doesn't mean that Tyrone Taylor is not valuable. Of course he is. He has contributed a lot to the Mets winning this year when they have won. But it's just not to the extent that AJ Ewing has done. So AJ Ewing is the guy that the Mets are going to go for in center field over Tyrone Taylor. Again, not a knock against Tyrone Taylor, just AJ Ewing is the better option. That's basically all that I'm saying from that. So, it's really how much does a guy contribute to his team when, holy what the hell happened? Hold on, guys, 1 minute. Actually, maybe this is a good time for me to take a break and make sure that my legs get all straightened out and not throw any blood clots. So I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you for hanging around if you guys did. I appreciate it. Now, whew, just took a little walk down the stairs, hit an apple. No, my air conditioning, really weird. It was like something flew into it, and then all of a sudden, like this liquid came out of it onto my PlayStation and the table and everything. So it was very peculiar. Five, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Thirty-five is not going to end me. It's not going to end this program for me. I'm really surprised. You guys haven't even asked about this beard that I've had no choice but to, well, I did have a choice, but I let it grow out. And I've actually been trying, I keep forgetting to trim it. I need to trim this, get this off my face, because I don't like it. I don't like it when my beards get long. All right, so I don't know. With the AC, all of a sudden it made a noise like something crashed into it, and then it was spewing a liquid. I don't really know. I didn't really. I don't really know what it was, honestly. Yeah, I just I had to let it grow out. I mean, I could have asked my dad to bring me a trimmer, but the problem is that I didn't really have anywhere to go trim it, and also the places that I was in, not exactly a good place to be trimming a beard. So you're growing a mustache, enjoy it. Um, Actually, can we save it for tomorrow? Because today I'd really like to just focus on getting back. If I go online now, I feel like I'm going to get crushed.
Whoa, that's upstairs.
I need to get back to, I need to get used to pitching and swinging, or not swinging, but get used to hitting and all that. So thank you. I appreciate. Well, I'll remember for tomorrow.
That's the ball.
You don't have to redeem it again. I'll remember for tomorrow.
Check your base, ball four. Ball.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, because I'm gonna definitely need some help. especially since I really don't have any good cards. Well, streaming. I mean, I'm going to be going to therapy, physical therapy sessions. I'm going to I have a couple appointments coming up, and I need to schedule another one with the oncology and hematology department at the hospital that I was at, because they need to tell me what caused my blood clots and everything. Hopefully they figured it out. Um, and then, I got to meet with a cardiologist as well. It's going to be it's going to be one that it works with my family. So there are a lot of doctor's appointments I've got to make and everything. So it's not like I'm going to be dilly-dallying at home. I wish I could, but I really can't. As much as I'd like to be doing this all day, I can't. One, I cannot be lazy, and two, it's not good for my blood clots, because that'll just create more. That could create more of them. And that'll be a big problem. Then I'm back in the hospital. So, I tried to hold up, but I got caught in that animation. That's my own fault. I also need to download the EA Sports College Football 27 on my console, because I bought it, but I couldn't download it onto my console from the PlayStation app because the console was not on. It's been off ever since I ever since let's see. I probably played it on the Saturday, but ever since I developed the blood clots, or I started developing swelling in my leg, that's the last time I played the PlayStation. So it's been well over a month. It's funny. You'd think with all this time off, I would actually be able to do stuff that I wanted, but the reality is that I can't. Again, what the heck is going on? I hope none of the birds. Maybe it's the birds that are underneath the. I think they built a nest under the AC. And now I'm disturbing their peace by having it run after not running for a month. Although that wouldn't explain why it was spewing fluid. Whatever that fluid was, it was definitely a liquid. There we go. This is what I was looking for. Beatdown and conquest. With some, while also getting some stats. So I'm going to have a lot of moments to complete tomorrow to finish up all these spotlight programs. And then I got to focus in probably on the All-Star content or the MLB draft content. Oh, that does remind me. I have to redeem my prediction vouchers for the All-Star weekend. I know I got at least 3 wrong, but I don't know if I got the 4th one right. Well, I appreciate that, champ. By the way, do you have any advice for like what I should be eating at meals? I know the stuff I can't eat, but I don't know about the stuff that I can eat other than proteins. So like chicken, turkey, that kind of stuff. You know, can't have starch because I had French toast earlier this morning, and I can't have, and I had an Impossible Whopper for lunch. So, you watched the Odyssey last week? And how was it? Because honestly, I have no interest in seeing that movie, but I am curious about it. Excuse me. I'm curious because honestly, there's not a lot for me to eat. Nice, Ellie. This is why I wanted to do the conquest. One, because I knew I was going to be able to do stuff like that. Just pound away on the Yankees. And 2, it's quick. Whatever. Oh, well, I can't eat whatever. Do I like soup? Chicken noodle soup, but I doubt I can have the noodles. Chicken, maybe, but it's not many other soups besides that, though. Definitely not vegetable soup, okay? You can't get me to eat regular vegetables. I don't know how you expect me to eat soup with vegetables in it. Sorry. That's going to be the hardest thing, trying to get me to eat vegetables. Fruits are no problem. I can eat an apple, an orange, a banana, a watermelon. Well, a slice of watermelon. I should clarify on that. I can eat that stuff. Grapes? Well, actually, I can't eat grapes. My sister told me I can't eat grapes. So, but apples, oranges, slice of watermelon, bananas, those are fine. Rice is out of the question. Can't have rice. At least not today. Maybe tomorrow. Trying to think. What did I eat at the hospital? You really like it? There's a lot of fighting and blood, and it was almost 3 hours. Something should tomato based foods. Well, that's a good thing. I mean, means I can't have pasta because there's tomato sauce. Just try Mediterranean food. A lot of veggie dishes actually taste good. I'm trying to will myself into trying. Right, right. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that maybe isn't clicking with me is that when I say can't have it, maybe I should be clear. I can't have it every meal. Like maybe once a meal, that might be fine. But not every day and um
That's inside.
not every day and not every meal. So that's going to be the hardest thing.
Inside, ball two.
Strike three, sit down. And yes, I do plan on limiting myself to only one plate at one plate per meal. So it's not. So I'm not overfeeding myself, having seconds. No, one and done. That's it. If I'm still hungry,
Ball two.
fruit. Strike three, sit down. All right. Hopefully that was enough to make enough progress to where I can do the get the program at least done enough to where. Okay, so I got Zach Geloff, which is nice. Carter Jensen, it looks like Caleb Durbin. Got the Joe Ryan. I'm assuming that's from the program, probably. Home Run Derby pack, Rising Rookies, June Spotlight Drop 4, and all that. So wait, where do I go to exchange the vouchers? Oh, here we go. Yeah, they're all losers. Ha! They're all losers. So I was totally wrong. I thought the NL was gonna win the All Star game. Thought Ben Rice was gonna win the Home Run Derby. I thought Murakami was gonna have the most home runs, and I thought Schwarber was gonna have the longest home run. And I was completely wrong in everything. Oh boy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, so I am done with the program. Oh, nice. Well, except um I need to get Geloff Parallel XP and then I can finish off the program. But yeah, I'm almost I actually could get all these moments done with the July spotlight and get well, what can you do? It's all in good fun. It was all in good fun. Obviously we don't go away empty handed. They did give us packs and everything, so that's nice. But I mean, how many people had Jordan Walker as the home run derby winner? I would have never expected that. I mean, I was expecting someone young, yeah, but I thought it would be Ben Rice. Yeah, probably. Although I think it's even less for for the people who got all of the predictions right. Did anyone even get all the predictions right? Strike three, sit down.
That's a ball.
Strike three, sit down. All right, so that's the first moment done. Yeah, absolutely, because I'm going to be here. So, and I have a lot of content to grind. I know I just did the June Spotlight guys, including getting Zach Geloff. And actually, now that I think about it, better collect Geloff so that I can get Pete Crow Armstrong. Oops, that's not where I meant to go. That's where I meant to go. In fact, this weekend I may even stream. I may stream. So, oh wow, well, good for you. Hey, ain't it took me until June to get the live series collection done. So, and that's usually around when I normally get it done.
Ball out.
But I'm glad that you got Tulowitzki, Pujols, and Hernandez. Strike three, sit down. I was excited about Pujols for sure. Flash sale? Nice.
Right two.
Strike three, sit down.
Ball high. Yeah. Ball, that's in.
Strike three, sit down. I didn't have to strike out the side, but that's exactly what I did. So. Yeah, well, I mean, I could have. If I wanted to, I could have, but I just felt like there was no point in me um, doing it because it's like, what if I get something good, then you guys aren't going to see it. You'll see the notification for it, but you won't see me actually pulling it. So I just figured no point. Not while I'm sitting at home or sitting in rehab or the hospital or whatever. Yeah, it was rehab. It's all good. Try again. No big deal. But after I'm done with this stream here. I'm definitely going to get a trim. I definitely need it. This is a month's plus worth facial hair on my face. It's nice watching the fireworks from your aunt's backyard. Couldn't really watch any fireworks, but that's okay. All right. I think that's a good place to stop for today, and then I'll finish up the spotlight moments tomorrow, and then Gamer says, or not Gamer, Woogie says he's going to help me with the program, so the multiplayer program, that is. Yeah, I've got 5 days? Oh, man. I'm not going to have a lot of time. Oh, jeez. All right. I mean, if that's what it is, it is. It is what it is. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. So thank you to everyone who tuned in. Even if it was only for a moment, I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to follow me here on Twitch and or subscribe. Either one would make me a happy person. If you're watching this on YouTube, I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you like the video and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to know when I go live, you can follow me on X at TTV NextJGGen24. It's my gamer tag that's on the left side of your screen there. So go give me a follow. I'll always post whenever I go live. You can also turn on notifications here on Twitch. That way Twitch sends you an email every time I start up a stream. So overall, I was happy with this, happy with getting back to playing this game, getting back to making progress. Obviously, ton was made with the the June Spotlight program. July Spotlight Drop 1, we got done. Drop 2, not going to take that long, only like 2 or 3 moments, and then I can move on. So tomorrow, like I said, we'll finish up those moments for Drop 2. And then Woogie says he wants to help me with the multiplayer program. I could probably use it. Yeah, that's what the plan is tomorrow. More grinding, both offline and online. So I hope to see you all tomorrow, Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And until then, guys, have a good night. And thank you for the welcome backs. I appreciate it.